Okay, so it's not every day that you find something extremely exciting in the crypto space. Now, those that have been in the cryptocurrency space, you've realized that there's so many ecosystems out there. I mean, there's Ethereum, there's Bitcoin, there's XRP, there's Avalanche, there's Solana, there's, I don't know, Chile's token, there's Dogecoin, there's all kinds of tokens out there. And each of these tokens are essentially in their own ecosystem, or they're serving the same purpose, but they've just packaged it as something else. Maybe they've just looked at what Ethereum does with the smart contract type of technology. They've implemented it in their own chain, and then they're asking you to do whatever you're doing on Ethereum onto their chains. So you have those ecosystems, you have those cryptocurrencies, and maybe you need to do something in another ecosystem because it's not in another. So you need to swap your tokens, for example, from Ethereum to your tokens on Polygon. And you need to, because you need to participate in DeFi of another ecosystem, or you need to do something else in another ecosystem. But there's no way of swapping those tokens directly. You need to employ something we call a bridge. Now, all these abstractions really create a hurdle in the cryptocurrency space. Now, there is this company here, which is called ChangeNow. ChangeNow has created something rather amazing. And before we get into that, I really want to put into perspective what is going on here. So obviously, Uniswap is one of the first essentially groundbreaking exchanges to implement smart contracts from Ethereum as a way, as a use case of just swapping from one token to another. It started with you can swap your Ethereum token with any other token on the Ethereum network. But for example, you cannot swap your Ethereum token or whatever token on the Ethereum network with another token that's on the Polygon network. Even if those tokens are somehow similar in one way, shape, or form, you have to employ something called a bridge. Now, even if you want to swap them, to exchange them for fiat value, to use them in real world, you have to use something like a centralized exchange like Binance, for instance. You have to go onto the Binance trade market and swap these tokens on a spot exchange market. These are all orders placed by people out there that you can swap one token for another. And then Binance offers you a way, and so many other centralized exchanges, they offer you a way to actually withdraw these assets to their native wallet. So what a decentralized exchange does is that it allows you to just log in straight away with that so-called native wallet and you do the swapping. But there's no clear way of actually withdrawing these tokens to your to use them in your everyday life. And that's where you sometimes use a centralized exchange, and or you have to use a bridge to swap the tokens from one ecosystem to another, so that you get into an ecosystem that actually enables you to swap them to another use case. So guys, there's a lot of things that are hidden away, that are rather not hidden away, that are too exposed. In other words, the process becomes too complex. And then, for example, if you're using the Binance ecosystem, then you may have to use PancakeSwap, or you may have to use the Binance centralized exchange, because these are the guys with liquidity. If you're using Polygon network, you may not want to use Uniswap. You may want to use KyberSwap because that's where all the liquidity is. Or you may want to use a bridge on the Orion network, which supports you to swap from Binance to the Ethereum network or some other chains. But then you realize that as all this is going on, you're limited to whatever technology these bridges are listing, or sometimes you're even limited to their minimum requirements of maybe you're supposed to withdraw this minimum of a bunch of tokens in order for your transaction to go through. And obviously it's dependent on their fees, which are normally high. For example, the Connect bridge would enable you to transfer your tokens, say from the Binance Smart Chain or from Polygon or from Optimism, which is a layer 2 scaling solution of Ethereum, to some other ecosystem. But then remember, guys, that you're dependent on what is listed here. And you can see what is listed, for example, on the Connect bridge is limited to EVM compatible tokens. So whatever tokens somehow communicate with MetaMask or the Ethereum network in some way, shape, or form is what you're limited to, which is terrible in this space. Because, for example, this is Osmosis. It's a decentralized exchange on the Cosmos ecosystem. Cosmos has nothing to do with Ethereum. I mean, there's a lot of people trying to figure out how to make Cosmos chains talk with Ethereum chains, but as for EVMOS, but as for now, there's no direct way to communicate from Cosmos to Ethereum. And also the same thing applies to Solana, Avalanche, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, and so on. Now, What's interesting about Cosmos, or the Osmosis DEX, which is connecting the Cosmos technologies through something called the Interblockchain Communication Protocol, though this video is not about this, is that, for example, unlike in Ethereum, you can use Osmosis DEX, which implements something called the Interblockchain Communication Protocol, to swap any ecosystem on the Cosmos network or the Cosmos ecosystem, because it's not just one network. It's a bunch of technologies, of which if you use those technologies to build your own blockchain, you can implement something called an IBC, which we've talked about, to enable your chain to communicate with other chains. So what Osmosis has done is that it's created a decentralized exchange that enables you to easily swap from one token to another. But guys, there's no way of communicating this with other blockchains that have nothing to do with the technology or the tech stack or the software development kit on Cosmos that has been used to build blockchains native to the Cosmos ecosystem, but unnative to any other something else like Avalanche or whatever, or Chili's or Doge Elon token or whatever meme coin or whatever sensible token you want to talk about. Like, there's no way of allowing this value to easily be extracted in a seamless and connected manner. So what I'm going to talk about at the end is essentially a really clever way of implementing all of this. Now, Axila is an example of an ecosystem that's trying to implement different technologies. For example, you can use the Axila enabled tokens you can deposit them on your ledger, I guess, if they're under the Cosmos ecosystem, or you can use QuickSwap, another decentralized exchange, or PancakeSwap, or SushiSwap, or KaibaSwap, or Trust Wallet. Guys, it's a lot. It's a lot. So unless you lock yourself in a particular box, you have to navigate all these ecosystems. For example, this is USDC, which exists on Ethereum and has been implemented in other ecosystems out there. But at the same time, this is USDC that has been enabled by Axila network that exists on Cosmos through the Axila network. So all these efforts that you're seeing are trying to create some kind of interoperability standard, which sometimes is limited to one ecosystem, or it has to go through one particular ecosystem. This is another example of another decentralized exchange. There's tons of them out there. For example, you may say, let me use this one to swap from Ethereum to Bitcoin, or from whatever to Bitcoin. But at the same time, as we said, you're limited to whatever exists here. And then after doing these swaps, if you want to use them in your real life use case, then you have to send these tokens to another wallet to convert them to something else. It's a very long process. And when you try to look around, you find, okay, the best crypto bridges out there, Synapse Protocol, a Porter token bridge, Stellar bridge. Okay, so you're like, let me look at this. And these things like Stargate. When you go into these ecosystems, you find the same problem. For example, if you want to swap, for example, a token to Dogecoin, and maybe you're like, Dogecoin is a bit scalable, it's a bit fast, I'll use that as my intermediary currency, or XRP, or whatever, guys. So you swap your token to that. First of all, you don't have the option to swap it to that. So you're like, okay, I want to swap it to something more scalable. It isn't there. So even these so-called recommended platforms don't actually have access to everything. This is limited to Solana. It explodes into other ecosystems, but it's still limited to what they list. So that is the problem. And then PancakeSwap is the DEX that we've looked at, which has listed other. It's not just Binance anymore, but it has listed others. But you can see they're all Ethereum virtual machine compatible. So you're like, okay, let's try and figure out another solution. So you go out there, like you find OKX, which is a massive exchange with massive liquidity. And they're telling us here it's the overall best decentralized exchange out there. It's right there. That's what they've listed. And when you go to the OKX exchange, you quickly realize that you still have to navigate KYC. You have to navigate emails. You have to navigate all kinds of things. And when you go to wallet, you try to log in, you quickly realize that you have to have the OKX wallet in order to log in here and in order to use the ecosystems, which takes you through another loop of actually downloading their stuff to try and use them. Now, we've looked at Binance Exchange. It is essentially like Coinbase. Binance Exchange is the biggest centralized exchange. Now, what we're going to look at next is taking some of what the centralized exchange, taking the simplicity of Uniswap, in other words, being able to swap one token to another, and taking the feature that a centralized exchange like Binance affords you of being able to withdraw your tokens onto your native wallet. So I give Dogecoin as an example or Bitcoin. So if you swap any cryptocurrency into Bitcoin or into Dogecoin or into Ethereum, you're able to withdraw them from Binance onto your native wallet. So your self-custody wallet could be your ledger, could be a mobile wallet of that ecosystem, could be anything. Now, these exchanges, for example, what you see here, Houdini Swap, takes those features of Uniswap, swap one token to another, and the ability of Binance that enables you to withdraw to your native wallet into an interesting way. Now, Change now is what we're going to use, not because of anything particular, but it's because it's the one that actually worked in when I was trying out. I actually haven't used them, but it's the one whose interface seemed to be responsive. Now, for instance, when you go to their website, it's the same thing, similar thing as Houdini Swap. It's simplicity. Immediately you're exposed to a screen which allows you to change. Now, you remember in Uniswap, you have to swap a token, then you have to maybe send that token from that wallet. You have to have essentially the same wallet. Then you have to figure out how to send that token from your wallet to your native wallet, and then maybe you have to send those to some other exchange. Essentially, it's a long process. But here, in this case, if you have tokens on your native wallet, what's going to happen is, for example, if you want to swap your XRP, just as an example, so you get your XRP, you want to swap them for Atom, for instance. So Atom is one of the ecosystems we talked about. Say I want to swap like 25 XRP for Atom. So you're going to exchange these. You're going to click on exchange. And then it's going to ask you for your Atom wallet that you want to exchange to. You can add a memo, but if this is going to your exchange or a centralized exchange, then you need a memo. Otherwise, you don't really need it. So you check everything, 25 XRP for Atom. These are ecosystems that have nothing to do with each other. And that's why I've picked these particular ecosystems. XRP has nothing to do with Atom. Atom has nothing to do with XRP. This is just for demonstration. So now you get a screen right here, which is asking you to send these tokens. Now, if it's on destination tag, obviously change it to the address. So you can scan it with your favorite wallet. Maybe the Sam wallet is an awesome wallet for XRP. And you can click next. I'm actually doing this on my phone. Asking you for a destination tag. Click onto the destination tag. Scan that. Make sure you enter the address and the destination tag. So my phone is actually showing me that this destination address is linked to Change Now, the exchange that I'm using or that I'm sending to. It's making sure I confirm the destination tag is the same. I'm like, it looks good. I sign the transaction. I type in my password and it's sending. So all we have to do is to wait and see. So what's happening here, guys, is that I don't have to send my XRP tokens. First of all, the decentralized exchanges, none of them seem to support XRP. Or if they do, it's on some other ecosystem like Binance or something else. So it's not the native. So what I'm doing, and if I don't have this option, I have to first of all create an account on Binance or some other centralized exchange, send my XRP to Binance and convert those XRP to Atom, then withdraw those Atoms to my native Atom wallet to use them for whatever I want to use them. But in this case, it abstracts all that. I don't have to swap these tokens. I don't have to use a centralized exchange or to hope that it's a centralized exchange that supports XRP. I'm just using XRP as an example in this case. So what happens, these guys provide me a wallet or an address that I send my tokens to, and everything just happens in the background where they're supposed to send my desired tokens to my desired final destination. Now, what does that provide, or what is the advantage there? The advantage that there is that I don't have to open any accounts. I don't have to expose my passwords of my wallets to any other account or ecosystem out there. All I do is send my tokens and I get them swapped and sent to my destination address. There's just one step. That is it. So that is progress towards cryptocurrency adoption. As you can see, the transaction is happening. So this is progress towards simplicity. We want to have as few steps as possible because, time is money, time is a factor. And we also want to make sure cryptocurrencies are as efficient as we are claiming them out to be, as we're claiming they should be. We're eliminating so many processes. So just to reiterate, this is what's happening. Now, what you have to put into consideration is that some of these processes will be abstracted away even more as time goes by. They'll be hidden more, especially if the transaction you're trying to perform is very focused to a particular platform or to whatever you want to do that's very specific to a platform. Maybe you want to change assets of a game or assets of something, some virtual assets or virtual for real world assets. So what's happening here is that I go to a platform, I have my tokens on a native wallet, so in this case XRP, and I have a destination address of that belongs to me or to someone else. All I do is go initiate a transaction here. I have the other recipient get me their address, so in this case it's the Atom address. I say that I want to transfer 25 XRP to that particular destination address. It gives me an address to send the XRP to. I send the XRP to that, to their address, and in the background they do everything. They'll convert that XRP to Atom, and they'll send that Atom to the destination address. That is it. Simple. Done. That's where the story ends. And you can see the exchange succeeded. 1.722 Atom has been sent, will be sent to you shortly. So this swap happened in a much shorter time than it's happened. It's actually happening in less than a minute. It is said that your exchange took 2 minutes. So I guess it took 2 minutes. But guys, that's even shorter. That's much shorter than sending your XRP, in this case, from your native wallet to an exchange. Even if you already have an account on that exchange, you have to type in the passwords and everything. So you're constantly exposing yourself. Send those XRP to that exchange. Swap that XRP to Atom, then withdraw that XRP to your withdraw the Atom to your native address, then send those Atom to the recipient that needs Atom in their native address. So what's happening here? You open a website, you say that I have 25 XRP, I want to swap them for Atom to this particular destination address. They open up a window, as you've seen. You send that XRP to that address, and in the middle, they do everything in the background. They send those atoms for you, and a message will pop up that indeed these atoms have been sent, and instantly this will happen. And actually, there's something I didn't show. There's somewhere where you can actually type in your email address such that they send you a notification when this has happened. So I don't know, unless you haven't been here in the crypto space for a while, if you're new to the crypto space, this is extremely exciting and it's groundbreaking because it abstracts away a lot of the complexity in the background. And for those that want to speculate, these guys actually have a token. If you go searching on the exchange, you find that they have a token called the Now token, and you can do staking. So ideally, it's a proof of stake network. I guess they'll be adding some sort of functionality onto their token. So things like that. But right now, it's actually technology that's fascinating. And if there's any talks of the token, maybe we'll cover that in some of the future videos out there. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed. I implore you to go and explore more of these technologies, because this is how we're going to grab global adoption, because this is how we're going to achieve global adoption in the crypto space. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Bye-bye.